I didn't do anything wrong, so why is Karen threatening to call the cops on me? Is it just 'cause I'm black that she's treating me like this? I don't know, but ever since I moved into this neighborhood, she's been on me non-stop. And I came here just to live a quiet life. I didn't expect an HOA Karen could go this far. She crossed the line, all the way to the point where it got really dangerous for me. But I made it out okay. How? I'm going to tell you everything. But first, I want to ask you, has anyone ever treated you this way just because of the color of your skin? Has an HOA Karen ever threatened to call the cops on you? Drop a comment if you've been through it. Let me know where you're watching from, too. Your comments give us strength. And don't forget to hit subscribe to HOA Story YT. I won this fight quietly, and now I want your voice to reach everyone else. Yo, what's up, y'all? My name's Kwame Mensah, born and raised in Accra, Ghana. Always kept things simple, always tried to live a peaceful life. Back home, I ran a small import business, nothing fancy, just enough to take care of my family. A couple years ago, I decided to move to the States. Needed a fresh start, a place where I could finally breathe and live low-key. I found this neighborhood, looked quiet, clean streets, decent folks, and thought, yeah, this could be my little slice of peace. I came in with just one goal: live quietly, mind my business, enjoy life. First week was smooth, setting up my cabin, trimming the lawn, organizing my stuff, waving to neighbors, doing all that normal settling in stuff. Everything seemed cool until I met her, the infamous HOA Karen. She showed up one afternoon, stiff as a board, clipboard in hand, like she owned the whole street, and hit me with, "Your lawn's too high." That was it. No hello, no nothing. Just accusation out of nowhere. I thought, okay, fine, I'll fix it, no big deal. Didn't even feel like arguing. But that was just the start. From then on, she kept showing up, complaining about the driveway, my trash bin being out too long, even about a small flag I hung in my yard. And I'm thinking, I'm following all the rules, doing my part, paying my dues, so why the constant hassle? And then it got real weird. She starts threatening to call the cops on me. Me, just for living here, just for being me. I had to stand there trying to understand. Like, what did I even do? Nothing. Nada. Zip. Just a black man trying to live peacefully. And now I'm treated like some criminal. I ain't gonna lie, it shook me at first. I wondered if it was really happening, if she really saw me like I didn't belong. But I kept my cool, stayed calm, didn't fight, didn't yell, didn't argue. I knew losing my temper wouldn't do me any good. I started noticing a pattern. Every small thing she found a reason to make a fuss, push boundaries, remind me that I had to constantly prove I belonged here. And yeah, it made me tense, but I realized something important. I can't control her. I can't control her obsession, but I can control how I respond. I kept living my life, trimming my lawn, checking my mail, keeping to myself, but always aware, eyes open, mind sharp. It was like walking a tightrope. You take one wrong move and boom, she's ready to escalate. And man, some days it felt heavier than others, like the weight of her gaze on me just never lifted. But I stayed steady. I treated every encounter as just another challenge, another reminder that peace isn't always free, that respect has to be earned, even if it's just for yourself. And through all that tension, all that overbearing oversight, I began learning, adapting, moving smarter, not just reacting. I started to see patterns in how she operates, what triggers her, what keeps her satisfied. I learned patience, quiet resilience, and how to keep my dignity intact even when someone is trying to chip it away. So here I am, Kwame Mensah, still standing, still keeping my life together, slowly carving out my quiet little world in this neighborhood, even with HOA Karen lurking around every corner. And even though the first encounters were rough and her scrutiny seemed endless, I realized that the trick wasn't to fight back loudly. It was to survive, to stay calm, and to live my life on my own terms, learning along the way how to handle people like her,
how to navigate the fine lines of rules, neighborhood politics, and personal boundaries without losing my peace, my focus, or myself. Life didn't get any easier after that first run-in with HOA Karen. If anything, it got weirder, heavier. Every week there was something new. One morning I step outside to grab my mail, and there she is, clipboard in hand again, eyes scanning like she's hunting for a crime scene. She drops another complaint. Your driveway cracks don't match community standards. I blinked, tried to smile, and thought, man, come on, I'm literally just living here. I fixed the cracks, yes, but how was this suddenly a big deal? And then she starts talking, whispering to the neighbors, subtly pointing, making comments like he shouldn't be allowed to do that. I could feel eyes on me, some curious, some judgmental. And yeah, it stung, but I stayed calm. I learned early that flipping out just gives her the satisfaction she's looking for. I'd keep my peace, my mind clear, and handle my business quietly. Still, every little noise, every small step outside, it felt like walking on a minefield. She would call the HOA office, then the local police department, reporting the tiniest things as if I were some sort of threat. And yeah, I got to admit, my heart would race a little every time, but I didn't let it show. I kept moving, kept trimming my lawn, kept living. I started noticing patterns, how she timed her complaints, how she worded them, who she tried to rope in. It was a game, subtle but dangerous if you played it wrong. I began talking to a few neighbors quietly, making sure they saw me as just a regular guy, not a target. Some were kind, some neutral, some clearly siding with her, but I didn't care. I had to secure my little world. And in that space, I found my own rhythm, a quiet resistance. I knew I couldn't change her, couldn't make her stop being the neighborhood watchdog, but I could control my actions, my composure. And slowly, she started realizing I wasn't an easy target. My calm, my consistency, my refusal to be rattled, it frustrated her. But here's the thing, while she escalated, threatened, complained, I remained steady, watching, learning, adjusting. It was almost like a chess game, every move calculated, every reaction deliberate. I had to stay 3 steps ahead just to keep my peace intact. And even with all that tension, I could finally breathe a little when I came back inside my cabin at night, lights low, music soft, knowing I survived another day without giving her the satisfaction of seeing me shaken. But the point is, it never stopped.
HOA Karen's energy, her obsession with control, it lingered in the air, a subtle pressure on everything I did. I realized that living here wasn't just about following rules. It was about understanding people, understanding power, and learning how to protect yourself without breaking your own principles. So yeah, I'm still Kwame Mensah, still the same guy from Accra, still keeping my life together and still figuring out how to live peacefully while someone tries to make every move feel like a test. And in that rhythm, in that balance of calm defiance and careful observation, I started seeing my own strength, the quiet resilience that comes when you refuse to let someone else define your space, your life, or your peace. It's a constant game, a dance between patience and assertiveness, and I keep stepping lightly, moving deliberately, knowing that peace, real peace, isn't given. It's carved out, defended quietly, and held close to your chest every single day. After months of dealing with HOA Karen's constant complaints and empty threats, I finally realized the only way to win this quietly was to stay smart, calm, and strategic. I kept documenting everything, every visit, every complaint, every tiny thing she tried to use against me. I talked to neighbors, built subtle alliances, showed them I was just a normal guy, living my life, following the rules, and keeping my peace.
I learned when to respond and when to stay silent, letting her frustration do the talking. Every time she called the HOA office or hinted at involving the cops, I stayed composed, firm, and prepared. Slowly, the tension started flipping. People began seeing the truth. My calm, dignity, and steady approach started earning respect, and her power began to fade. I wasn't just surviving, I was proving that patience, awareness, and quiet strength can overcome overbearing control. In the end, I carved out my peace in that neighborhood, standing tall without compromising my principles, showing that calm resilience beats aggression every time. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. And remember, this story is created for entertainment and educational purposes only and has no relation to real events.